Hey, I'm giving a test. Can everybody hear my voice? Type into the chat there, so I know there's one person that's saying they can't hear no sound. So let me know if you can hear that sound. The music will be going off here shortly. So awesome. Good morning to all of you. So I'm just doing a mic check here. Excellent. Hey, Myrna, good to see you there. Also, I'm going to go ahead and get started this morning so we can maximize our time together. Again, if you all can post in the Zoom chat if you are able to hear me. Go ahead and post a good morning also. That way I know you're on the screen with me this morning. If you could do that, that will help me and I can move forward. Let me turn up the mic this volume. Okay, that's volume is up. Thanks, Myrna. Anyone else having sound issues? Please let me know now. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna just get ready and go live here. So before we get started, I'm gonna ask if everybody would just put themselves in a position to receive, not multitask or any of those other things that we have a tendency to do when we are inside of the Zoom room. Or when we're doing virtual activities. So be present. If you can't be present this morning, go ahead and just make a note that you will listen to it later and you can participate at that time. I want you to maximize. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Solutions Sunday for another transformative session of Solution Sunday. I am Greg Stanton, also known as Asar. I'm a dedicated life strategist and spiritual teacher. I'm excited to embark upon this journey with you this morning. So, over the next 8 weeks, we'll explore the profound wisdom found in my forthcoming book. Yes, I'm finally going to do it. There's been a lot of starts and stops, but I believe I've I know it's time for me to release my book. So, the book will be entitled The Divine Flow Mastering Manifestation Through Trust and Timing. That's the title I currently have. But over the next 8 weeks, with your participation, I may get a little bit more clarity and that may change. So, this series is designed to help you understand and apply the principles of divine timing in your daily life. By the end of these sessions, you'll have a deeper awareness of flow and how manifestations work, how to release frustrations with delays, and how to align your faith with your divine order so that your desires unfold effortlessly. I see too many people working really hard at it. And the more you work hard at it, it's like pushing pushing it away from you. So every Sunday, I will introduce a new topic. And on Tuesday nights, I'll take a deeper interactive dive on Zoom, allowing for discussions and practical application. This journey is not just about learning, it's about transformation. It is my intention that by the end of these 8 weeks, each of us, each of you, will walk away with renewed faith, greater clarity, and a powerful sense of alignment with divine flow. So today, we begin with the Understanding Divine Timing, week 1, chapter 1 of my book. So let's take a deep breath right now. Settle into your sacred space and prepare to receive insight that will shift your perspective on waiting, delays, and the perfect orchestration of life's events. How many of us have ever felt frustrated when things didn't happen as quickly as we desired them to? How often do we doubt that our prayers, dreams, and desires are unfolding at the right time? So this morning, we're going to shift our perspective and learn that delays are not denials but divine orchestration. One of the key concepts this morning we're going to deal with is divine timing is the synchronization of events beyond human control, unfolding in perfect harmony with the universe. So let me say something here. I hope you have maybe a piece of paper or a pad and a pencil, and don't try to jot everything down, but the things that just resonate with you, you may just want to, like you might jot down divine timing. And then when you get the opportunity to revisit this, you can go deeper in it, you can slow it down. So I got a lot I want to cover. I want to pack inside of this time that we have together. And I want to make sure that you're present to it. So don't get stuck in trying to take notes. Just write down the things, something you may want to go back to, and let's go from there. That way you get the most out of being present. So everything that is happening right now is actually unfolding as it should. Yes, everything that is happening in your life right now is unfolding as it should. There are no mistakes in the universe. There are no accidents. There's no delays. There's only perfect divine order. The problem is that most of us live our lives looking at a clock, watching the seconds pass, convincing ourselves that time is something we must race against. But time is a construct of our conditioned minds. It's not real in the way that we think it is. The universe, however, operates in an infinite, timeless flow. And when we learn to trust that flow, we align with divine timing. So this morning, I want you to understand the flow of divine timing. Most people spend their days caught up in control and impatience, always wanting things to happen according to their time. I'm guilty of that also. We pray, we visualize, we affirm. And when things don't show up immediately, sometimes we have a shutdown. So we want to be careful with that. We want to understand that when we do these things, they actually can cause us to doubt. We'll begin to ask questions like, where's my manifestation? Why is this taking so long? Or am I doing something wrong? Or we start afresh, or we pick up something new. We want to be able to hold our intentions, and we want to move away from frustration. Divine timing is never wrong. There is an orchestration at work that is beyond our human perception. What you and I desire has already been created in the unseen, and it's on its way. It's coming to you at the precise time, the right moment. Not a second too early, not a second too late. We often say God is always on time. The universe is always on time. And so I want you to park that in your mind this morning, that there is an orchestration at work that is beyond your limited perception. And it's called divine timing. And we want to be aware of that. There's an illusion that comes, and it's the illusion of delay. So often we misinterpret delays as denials. But what if the waiting is actually a gift? What if you are asking what you're asking for isn't withheld, but instead it is being prepared perfectly for you? The universe is not saying no, it's saying not yet. My beloved is saying, not yet, not now. There is something you need to learn, something you need to heal, something you need to become before you can step into what is waiting for you. And sometimes it's allowing for those others who are involved in this thing to be present to it. So we got to know that there is no such thing as a delay, true delay. It's a delusion. And that our delays are not denials. We have to trust the divine orchestration. Every single event in our life is part of a divine choreography that you cannot see from where you stand. You might think you are behind schedule, but in reality, you are always on time. Even when you're late, you're on time in that you're learning a lesson. Think about the most beautiful, life changing moments in your past. Did they happen exactly when you planned them? Or did they arrive in a way you never expected, or sometimes early, sometimes through what felt like obstacles or delays? Divine timing ensures that everything aligns for your highest good, not just for you, but for everyone that's involved in that thing that you're desiring. For example, let's say you are praying for the perfect job. You visualize it, you're setting your intentions, and yet nothing appears to be happening. You feel stuck. But what if the reason you haven't received the job is because the person currently in that position isn't ready to leave yet? What if there's an unseen circumstance unfolding in the background, shifting pieces into place, making sure that when you do step into the opportunity, it will be the exact right moment? One of my favorite authors, or I consider a mentor, is Dr. Wayne Dyer. And he often speaks about the power of allowing. That is, not forcing, not resisting, but allowing life to unfold as it should when you release your need to control. When you let go of the desperate timelines that you set for yourselves, you create space for miracles. This called this is called living in harmony with divine timing. So how do you align with divine timing, you may ask this morning? We trust. We live in a state of knowing rather than a state of doubt. We surrender the illusion of control. Instead, we focus on becoming the version of ourselves, being the version of ourselves that is ready to receive that which we seek. There are some steps that I'm going to go into on this Tuesday nights. We're going to look at how to let go of the resistance, live in the present moment, cultivate faith and not fear, celebrate the unseen progress, and then to release attachment to outcomes. All of the things that we must be really familiar with if we want to live in harmony with divine timing. So that divine timing is not something you really have to figure out. It's something you have to trust. When you surrender your timeline and step into divine flow, you'll look back one day and you'll realize everything happened exactly as it was meant to be. Why? It's because the truth is you were never waiting. You were always arriving. I like to pull in some scripture as we move through because all of us are familiar with, majority of us on this call are familiar with biblical wisdom. And one of the foundational scriptures for this chapter is Ecclesiastes 3:1. You're familiar with it. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. To everything there is a season. This is not a passive statement about waiting for the right time, but a profound revelation that all things exist now, and we call it time. And it's merely the unfolding of what is already created within our consciousness. You know, last week, a few weeks ago, I talked about collapsing the possibility that there's many possibilities out there, many ideas, but you have to collapse one into the reality of now. And when we do that, we move it from an unconscious state, it begins to move from the imagined to the actual reality we live in. There is nothing to wait for. There's only a reason to recognize it, or there's a season of recognition. Let's put it like that. You and I are within a dimension where time appears to be linear. But the truth is that creation is already complete. It is done. Every possibility, every outcome, every version of your life already exists. Yes, every version. You have versions of success, versions of failure, versions of sickness, versions of disease, versions of divine health. All of these are called possibilities. They all exist until you collapse one into being. To everything, there is a season, but that season is not dictated by external forces. It's determined by your state of consciousness. And we're going to cover that deeper. We're going to look at the season is now if you accept it. We're going to explore that divine timing is the maturation of your state. And there's an illusion that is associated with divine timing called delay. We're going to unpack all of that on Tuesday night. Now, your role in divine timing. Let's take a moment and look at that. So, how do you align with divine timing, you may ask? How do you ensure that your season of manifestation is now rather than the years that are far off? There's a few ways to do it. First, you live in the end. You assume that your desire is already fulfilled. Do not look for signs, for signs follow faith, not the other way around. So there's the assumptions that you have. The second thing is you have to stop asking and start receiving. Those who ask are declaring that they lack. Instead, declare, thank you. Thank you, Father, Source, Divine Intelligence, Yahweh, whatever your idea of the creator of it is. You say, thank you, it is done. Well, there's a scripture that says that Source knows what you have need of even before you ask. It says that Source desires to do exceedingly abundantly above anything you can ask or think. So sometimes we just spend too much time thinking and asking instead of being. When you come into the oneness of being and you get these desires dropped on you, then you hold the intention and you resonate with it. You're doing something very powerful that brings it into fruition. Another thing that's part of your role is to detach from the how and the when. Yes, detaching from how and when. Your only job is to saturate your mind with the feeling of fulfillment. The feeling of fulfillment. Let the bridge of incidents unfold as they must. And the fourth thing you want to do, you want to trust the unfolding. Just as a mother does not force her child to be born before its time, some people try to, you must trust that your assumptions will harden into fact in their perfect season. Now, that's something you need to know. An assumption held ultimately hardens or comes into reality in the perfect season. And sometimes some assumptions that we hold show up at the wrong in the what we perceive to be the wrong season, but it's right on time because it gets you to address it. So I want you to walk away at this point in the conversation knowing that delays are not roadblocks. They are redirections towards greater alignment. I know at first glance, a delay may seem like a frustrating obstacle, something that is standing between you and your desire. It could be healing, it could be financial windfall, and it's keeping you from reaching your goal. But from a higher metaphysical perspective, delays are not denials, nor are they hindrances. Instead, they serve as divine redirections, ensuring that you receive exactly what is meant for you in perfect alignment with your consciousness, readiness, and highest good. That's why we always say things are always working out. Or let me say this. That's why I always say, when I feel frustrated, I say, things are always working out for me. Even when they don't appear to be working out for me, things are working out for me. So let's know that delays are not robot blocks. Okay, so um, let's look at bridges of incidents. When we plant a seed, we do not see the roots forming beneath the soil, but we trust the process of growth. Similarly, every delay is part of the unseen preparation, okay, for your manifestation to come forward. Neville Goddard, someone who I follow, speaks often about bridges of incidents, the series of events that must unfold to lead you to your manifestation. You cannot always see the full picture, but each delay is part of that bridge. You ever had a situation, something happened to you, and as a result, you ended up perhaps suing someone, and through that suit, you were awarded this large sum of money, or you ever had a loved one pass away, unbeknownst to you, that you were part of the wheel, and you get this windfall. These are bridges of incidents. While you're on the bridge, you may be sad, you may say it's an inconvenience, but when it's over, when it's behind you, you see differently. So every delay has meaning. That's important. If you are manifesting financial abundance, but your money has not yet arrived, what if the delay is because the right investment opportunity is still unfolding? What if the delay is that someone need to be exited from your life before this windfall comes? Because if it comes while they're there, they're going to stick and stay. If you are seeking healing, but it seems slow, there's somebody on this call right now just saying, wow, this thing just won't shift. What if your body is aligning itself in a way that sustains long-term well-being, not just temporary relief? Every delay has meaning, but only if you trust that life is unfolding for you, not against you. Let me say that again. Only if you trust that life is unfolding for you, not against you. So we're going to drill down in that a little deeper this coming Tuesday night. So I'm going to really look at how to align your divine timing instead of resisting delays. There are some things we can do. So nothing is delayed in the eternal now. In the higher reality, there is no delay. Everything already exists. It is only in the dimension of time that we perceive delays. But when we move in divine consciousness, when you embody the reality of your wish fulfilled, guess what happens? Time collapses. The delay ends the moment you stop resisting and start trusting. Because the truth is, what you seek is already yours. I often say what you seek is seeking you. You are not waiting for it. It's waiting for you to align with it. Now, the problem is that we often live by human time, expecting instant results, but divine time operates differently. There's the Gregorian calendar, man's time, then there's the divine time. It's not measured by the tick-tocks of a clock, but by our alignment with universal truth. It's important that you know that. So let's take a moment and explore trusting the process. And I want to use the seed as a metaphor. Imagine you plant a seed. Do you expect to see a tree the next day? Some of us do. No, you trust that beneath the soil, unseen to the eye, life is unfolding. The same principle applies to our manifestations. Just because we don't see movement doesn't mean nothing is happening. When I was a kid, every spring, my mom, you would have me go out into the yard on the side of our garage and till the field, get it ready for the planting of the seeds. And during that time, there was a lot of silent self-reflection. At that time in life, that bridge of incident was a inconvenience. Well, I want to be out playing with my friends. But I learned some things from that. First, I learned you have to prepare the field for the seed that is to be sown. And many of us have to do the same thing. We have to prepare our minds. We got to go through our minds and we're going to clean the debris. We got to identify the beliefs that we hold that keeps the ground hard and don't allow the seed to really to be sown. So this same principle applies to manifestations. Example, farmers know that growth happens beneath the surface before it appears above the ground. And for you, that means that things happen on the inside before they happen on the outside. As on the inside, so shall it be on the outside. So we got to learn how to cultivate patience and trust the unseen work of the divine. A good example of that was Abraham and Sarah in Genesis chapter 18. The impatience that they had led to detours, but we see ultimately source timing prevailed. Source's promise to Abraham and Sarah was for a son. But as years passed without fulfillment, their impatience led them to take matters into their own hands. Sarah, as you know, encouraged Abraham to have a child with Hagar, resulting in the birth of Ishmael. However, this was not the child of the divine promise. Despite the detour, source's timing prevailed. And we know that Sarah miraculously conceived Isaac in her old age. And some of us will look at old age and see numbers, but what it really means in her maturity. So your old age don't have to be years afar off, but many of us it will because we live in the thing called experience instead of inexperience. What it really means metaphysically, she matured, proving that divine timing is always perfect and that what is promised will come to pass at the appointed time. So this story, it teaches each of us that delays are not denials. When we trust divine timing, the promise is always fulfilled because it's already fulfilled. So we got to learn how to recognize divine timing. Now, let's take some time and have some real life reflection. I want you to think back on a time when something you deeply desired was delayed, but later you realized the timing was perfect. Maybe it was a job, a relationship, or a life changing opportunity. How did that experience shape your understanding of divine timing? What if the delay was actually divine protection? What if you weren't ready for what you were asking for? Have you ever received the blessing only to be it to become a lesson? Have you ever received a windfall and little or no time it was gone? Because you really weren't ready to retain it. Sometimes the universe will give you a glimpse. It will give you a teaser, a tester. And what you have to look at instead of fretting over perhaps a loss, you look at what did I learn? Taking responsibility. What we perceive as delays are actually moments of preparation and refinement. So right now, I want you to affirm something with me. Affirm this. I'll state it once, and then let's participate by affirming it together twice. Here you go. I trust that everything I desire is unfolding at the perfect time. Together, I trust that everything I desire is unfolding at the perfect time. I trust that everything I desire is unfolding at the perfect time. And you relax into that. Now, I say relax, but many of us have to learn to overcome frustration to align with the divine timing. How do we stay patient and align while waiting? We shift our mindset. Instead of waiting in frustration or anxiousness, we wait in expectation. Okay, so you wait in expectation. You wait in anticipation. When I was a kid, one of my favorite commercials was the Heinz ketchup commercial. Anticipation keeps me waiting. One of my favorite commercials. Not even realizing that that commercial was preparing me for what lies ahead. That I have to wait patiently. That's not always my biggest suit or strongest suit. One of the things that get in the way of waiting patiently is we don't trust divine timing. One of the steps to trusting divine timing is release control. Surrender the when and the how that we talked about earlier to the divine. One of the greatest roadblocks to manifestation, and talking to my clients, I see it time in and time out. The obstacle to manifestation and inner peace is their desire to control when and how things unfold in their lives. Are you guilty of that? We live in a world where planning, scheduling, anticipating outcomes are seen as responsible and necessary. It's part of the success factor. However, in the spiritual realm, where divine spiritual beings have a human expression, don't let the human expression be the controls that you operate inside of. In the spiritual realm, where divine timing governs all things, our obsession with forcing the when and the how of our desires only creates resistance. The more you want to know when, the more you want to know how. Matter of fact, sometimes we start the manifestation process seeking when and how. No, you got to be easy breezy with it. Because if you don't, you're creating resistance. Surrendering these aspects to the divine does not mean passivity or inaction. It means that stepping into a higher state of trust and allowing. When you let go of that, you're not being passive or inaction, but you're stepping into a higher state of trusting and allowing. You're recognizing the infinite intelligence of the universe operates with a wisdom that is far greater than your knowledge. But we have this illusion of control. Most of us believe that we must orchestrate every step towards their goal, manipulating circumstances, forcing results, and ensuring their desires arrive in a specific way at a specific time. But this illusion of control leads to frustration, stress, anxiety, and many lessons to be learned. We're going to drill down into that a little more on Tuesday. We have to also surrender the when. We have to surrender the how. These are important. How to surrender the when and the how to the divine is important. There's some things we're going to drill down into: shifting from expectations to allowing, replacing worry with trust, focusing on the end and not the process, recognizing delays as divine adjustments, practicing gratitude in advance. The moment you surrender, you make space for the manifestation, the very moment. The paradox of surrender is that the moment you let go, the faster things fall in place. Let go, let God. See, these are things we used to say in the old church. but they just were axioms. They weren't really coming from our hearts. They was coming from our heads. We were trying to convince ourselves, but we needed that experience. Holding on too tightly only creates resistance. But when you trust, relax, and let go of control, you become a channel open for divine flow. You don't need to figure out when or how. Your only job really is to know that it's done and to receive it with faith and expectancy. Let me take a moment and share a story. And because it was almost 6 years ago. Every year I would go to the what's known as the uh, Heritage Ball in Atlanta. It's a place where people, African Americans, come from all over the country, and it's a big weekend of dance. It's a big weekend of celebration, Black history, and it's in Atlanta, put on by the Heritage Ball Foundation. So this particular year, during this time, as you know, my late wife passed in 2010, and so this was probably 2017, 2018. I think it was 2017, February of 2017. Well, anyway, for 7 years, actually, I had actually for 5 years I had not been in a relationship. I had really gotten to the place where I was okay with being alone. That is all one. I wasn't lonely. And I just had resolved to the place that the perfect relationship would show up in the right way on the perfect day. And I had in my mind's eye some of the attributes that person would have. And I didn't have all the attributes in my mind, but I knew what some of the attributes that was important to me. So the long story short, I was there on the main event, night of the main event. And matter of fact, I had just taken a picture with the young lady who our relationship had come to an end. And we were just friends, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was there. And I said, "Hey, let's take a picture." Anybody that knows me, I like to capture moments. So I took that picture, and then after taking the picture, I stepped into the ballroom. There was nothing else going on. Just I stepped into the ballroom, and when I stepped in the ballroom, I was standing there, and I think I was playing on my phone at that time. And somebody came through the door. I remember seeing the door open, and someone came in, and this person came up to me and they say, "Hey, can you dance?" And I said, "Can show you better than I can tell you." Little did I know that this person was from the Show Me State. And this person happened to be the lady who I date, who I'm with now, Cheryl. And so we danced. And during the course of that one dance, I got enough information, and I followed up. And over the days that ensued, and for about a year, we began to talk every day. We became friends. We began to. It was clear that I had something more than a relationship to offer her, and vice versa. And ultimately, I moved to St. Louis. A bridge incident happened where the person who I was living with in Phoenix, Arizona. I had moved there, and I had told my friend, "Look, don't have me move out here. We're going to work together." And because I was just coming out of a season of homelessness. And she said, "Come on." And so there was nothing going on. It was very platonic. I was there, and I said, "When I get there, now watch what you say." I said, "Don't have me move out there, and you meet some guy, and then that guy has a problem, and then I have an issue I have to deal with." And that's just what happened. She met this guy, and little no time, the friendship that we have dissipated. And there was some ultimatums that was given me by this dude, and I wasn't having it. So I just decided to pack my bags and go. And I came to St. Louis. Two things there happened. It was a bridge incident for me to cultivate a relationship. And on top of that, my brother, who I had not had a relationship with for years because he was in the military for 30 years, he lived here. So I had the opportunity to come to get to know my brother. As a matter of fact, be there as he made his transition during the next 2 years. I was there. So I'm just saying that to say, when you let go of the need to control when and how and why, and the when and the how, Your highest and greatest goods always unfold. So that's important that you surrender. You make space for your manifestation. You also want to be present. While you're waiting, you want to live fully in the now, knowing all is unfolding perfectly. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to fully embrace the present moment, to release the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past. We live in two spaces, the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future that won't come on fast enough. You want to find peace in the now. The truth is that everything you desire, everything you are waiting for, is unfolding in perfect order. But uh, if in your mind is constantly projecting into the future or dwelling on the past, you miss the opportunity. You miss the beauty, the power of the present moment. The only moment where real creation happens is in the now. Many people live their lives either looking forward in anticipation, worrying about when things will happen, or looking back in regret, feeling as though they have missed opportunities. But in doing so, guess what happens? They fail to realize that the only place where life is actually happening is right now. So stay present. In doing so, you align yourself with the flow of divine timing. It is to trust that everything is moving as they should. And that in this moment, this very moment, the right here and nowness of now, you are exactly where you need to be. Many believe that time is linear, that the past is behind them, the present is now, and the future is something we move towards. But from a metaphysical perspective, that's why you're here, all things exist now. The past only exists in your memory and your interpretation of it. The future is not something out there waiting for you. It's a potential that is shaped by your present state of consciousness. Now, that's heavy. We're going to unpack that on Tuesday night also. The power of now. You cannot act in the past and you cannot act in the future. You can only act in the now. Every choice, every shift in your consciousness, every manifestation begins right here, right now. So let's live this present truth, trusting the divine flow. When you are fully present, you begin to notice how beautifully everything is aligning. You realize that life is not happening to you, but guess what? For you. Yes, we can look at a biblical example of that when we look at uh, the manna in the wilderness experience that is found in Exodus 16. The Israelites, after being freed from Egypt, that story, were given manna from heaven each day as sustenance. But Source instead instructed them to only gather enough for the day, not to hoard or to worry about tomorrow. Those who tried to collect that extra, you know the story, feeling or fearing that there wouldn't be enough for the next day, they found that it spoiled overnight. This was a divine lesson. That is, trust in the present moment, trust in the divine provision. Live today, knowing that tomorrow is already taken care of. So you might say, how do I stay present and trust the process? Okay, I'll give you a cheat, but we're going to go deeper into this. I don't have time to really unpack it. There's 5 things you do. You let go of the time of anxiety. You shift from waiting to being. You practice gratitude for the present. You meditate and you breathe. And guess what? You trust that the delays of the day are not denials. The present moment holds the key to everything. Lastly, this morning, we want to look at the part of gratitude. That is celebrating progress, no matter how small. Biblical insight we can find is in Isaiah 40 and 31. The scripture tells us, but they that wait upon the Lord, the law, the principles, shall renew their strength. The misinterpretation of waiting is many of us, when we hear the word wait, W-A-I-T, it brings W-E-H-I-T, a heaviness. It means for many of us to be passively enduring, to sit, to hope, and to anticipate that something outside of ourselves will eventually change our circumstances. Guess what? This mindset is what keeps you trapped in frustration and delay. But Isaiah 40 and 31 is not telling us to wait in suffering, longing, or helplessness. In the metaphysical sense, to wait upon the law is about not being passive waiting. It's about aligning your consciousness with the wish fulfilled and allowing the divine law to work with you. Give you an example. I love to eat, particularly at uh, venues that are tablecloth with fine linen and china and silverware, not plasticware. Because usually what comes with that is a waiter. We now call them wait staff. And many of us don't know how to effectively and efficiently work with the waiter. The waiter comes and the waiter is there to serve you. So when we're waiting, we have to wait as a server on the law, on source. And in doing so, it's a wonderful experience. There's nothing better than having a great meal that has been presented to you by a professional waiter. They show up right on time with water. They know when to come back and refresh your glass. They can make recommendations. You may came here for this particular meal, but they can tell you that the catch of the day or the highlighted meal. And so you went there with one thing in mind, but while you were engaging the waiter, you saw that there was something greater. So we have to do the same. We become the waiter on the Lord. And it's not for us to do what we want to do, but do that which is expedient to do based on what we see Source showing us and saying to us in the silence. So that's important. It's about aligning your consciousness with the wish fulfilled and allowing the divine law to work through you as you. So I'm going to explore that deeper. I'm going to explore what does it mean to wait upon the Lord. I'm going to look at how the renewal of strength comes from knowing and not struggling. So how do you align with divine timing instead of fighting against it? There's a few things. You move from waiting to expectancy. You release your impatience. You enter a place of rest known as the Sabbath, and every day is a Sabbath. There's yet a Sabbath that remains for us to walk in, and you live from the end. I'm going to unpack those things. Okay, this is a lot that's in my book. So we're going to unpack that. So this morning, I want you to know the struggle between control and flow is a constant state of resistance. When you try to control every outcome, every moment, every detail of your life, you are conditioning yourself, or what's happening is you've been conditioned, you're living out the condition that if you're not striving, if you're not struggling, if you're not pushing, if you're not forcing, then nothing will happen. We believe, or we've been taught to believe, that effort equals result. But the truth is, effort without alignment creates struggle. When we try to control, we are telling ourselves, we're telling the universe that we do not trust it. We act as if we must do everything on our own. forgetting that there is an intelligent, divine power that's always working on your behalf, a power that is far greater than our human efforts. Control, it breeds anxiety because it comes from a place of fear. Flow creates faith because it comes from trust. The moment you let go of the need to control, you make space for something much greater to enter your life: ease, faith, and miracles. Yes. So let's move from anxiety and control to ease and faith. Miracles are the natural flow as a result. Miracles not rare, special events. They are natural results of living in ease and faith. The moment you stop pushing, stop forcing, stop controlling, you make space for your miracles to unfold effortlessly, serendipitously. Now, I would just want to close this piece with this. The tighter your grip, the more resistance you create. Stop going through life white knuckling it. You knuckling, squeezing so hard that your knuckles turn white. The more you release, let go, the more things naturally align. So ask yourself right now, where am I holding on to control? Where can I surrender into ease and faith? So as we prepare to close, I want to affirm this. I hold this as an intention. I trust in divine timing. My desires are unfolding at the perfect moment. I release worry and embrace divine flow. Now, let's do that together. I'll go slow. I trust in divine timing. My desires are unfolding at the perfect moment. I release worry and embrace divine flow. Now, what I would like you to do sometime within the next hour, I want you to write down one area in your life where you will start trusting divine timing more. It could be health, it could be wealth, it could be relationship, it could be employment, something that's concerning to you. I want you to do that. Now, why don't you close your eyes as I close with this affirming prayer. Beloved divine presence, infinite source of all that is, with a heart full of gratitude, we pause to acknowledge the perfection of this moment. We recognize that we are exactly where we need to be and that every event, every experience, and every lesson is unfolding in divine order. We release all worry, all doubt, all fear, knowing that we are held in infinite embrace of divine wisdom right here, right now. We trust that everything we seek is already seeking us, and in perfect timing, it will manifest effortlessly in our lives. Thank you for divine alignment, an alignment that orchestrates our every step. We don't chase, we don't force, we allow. We allow miracles to unfold. We allow blessings to flow. We allow our spirits to rest in the certainty that all is well. We're grateful today. We're grateful for the unseen forces working on our behalf. Even when we cannot see the full picture, we trust. We trust that the masterpiece of life is already complete. We align our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions with faith, ease, and joy, knowing that what is ours can never be taken, can never be lost. Thank you, divine flow, for perfect timing, for the doors that are swinging open and the paths that are being made clear. We welcome the fulfillment of our desires with open hands and open hearts. We are in harmony with the divine. We are at peace with the present. We are aligned with our highest good. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. I hope you receive that. Now, as we bring today's session to a close, I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude for each of you, for your presence, for your openness, your willingness to engage in this journey of divine alignment. If today's message has resonated with you, if you found inspiration, clarity, or encouragement, and you feel led to support this work, I invite you to give as you feel guided. There's no obligation, only an opportunity to reciprocate the energy of what you have received and in a way that feels right to you. If you would like to contribute, you can do so via Zelle or Cash App using the phone number 708-368-1076. Your support helps me sustain and expand these teachings, allowing for all of us to continue in the sharing of wisdom, inspiration with those who need it. Most importantly, whether you give financially through your presence or by sharing this message with others, know that your energy and participation are gifts in themselves. And for that, I am truly grateful. May you continue to walk in divine flow, knowing that as you give freely, so shall you receive abundantly. Thank you. And may blessings continue to unfold in perfect timing for you. Now, here's a call to action as we get ready to wrap up. Today, we've laid the foundation for understanding timing and alignment, but this is just the beginning. The true transformation happens when we take our insights and go deeper. When we apply them, reflect on them, and allow them to shift the way we move through life. That's why I invite each of you to join me this Tuesday for Transformation Tuesday, where I'll take a deeper dive into today's teaching. We've just scratched the surface of chapter 1. This will be an interactive session and an opportunity to ask questions, to share reflections, to engage in practices that will help you fulfill and fully embody what we've discussed today. If today's message spoke to you, if you feel something stirring within you, don't let it fade. Let's nurture it together. Transformation happens in community. And this is your space to explore, grow, and step into the divine flow with greater confidence. If this Tuesday this Tuesday, I believe that if you join us, you won't regret it. So I look forward to seeing you there as we continue this journey of alignment and manifestation together. Lastly, if you have questions, send them to Greg at solutionsforliving.com. Thank you for all being present in this moment, in this journey. May you walk in trust, knowing that everything is happening for you and not to you. Stay open, stay expectant, and remember, you are always right on time. See you next week. Matter of fact, I see some of you guys on Tuesday night. Peace. We're going to go to the green room here shortly. So those of you who are joining in by way of the YouTube channel this morning, I thank you for joining. And I'll be putting this together and get it back out to you. I see we have a number of people that joined us there. Dniji, Dniji, or I don't know how to pronounce that. But I want to thank you for joining and for your comment of appreciation for the guidance. Good to see you, Lonnie. It's good to see you, Brenda. Good to see you, Keith. Those names that I see there, good to see all of you all. Look for the edited version of this. It'll be sent out to you. I will be dropping the version that's on YouTube, the live version. I'll be cutting it out because I don't want people to grab it. And I want it to be only for those who are participating in the here and now. So make sure I got your email. If I don't, send your email to me so I can make sure you get the edited version of this, the advanced copy of regarding the book that's soon to come out. So let's go over to the green room and see if there's any questions that you may have, any aha moments that you experienced before we wrap up this morning. I know we're beyond the top of the hour. Let me go down through some of the comments that I see here in the chat. There were salutations there this morning. There was great sunshine day to my Oasis family. How many bags are we carrying that we gotta unpack on Tuesday? Whew. We have bag lady, bag men, but we're gonna unpack just like a mountaineer as he's climbing the top of the mountain to the zenith of the mountain. He may have a ladder, she may have a ladder in their backpack, but on their way up the mountain, they start dropping things off. And that's what we're gonna do. As we climb this mountain to 8 weeks, we're gonna drop some things off. And on the way down, we're gonna pick up the things that we find are truly necessary for the journey of life. Thank you, Cheryl, for dropping that phone number in there. Al said, trusting in divine timing and unfolding. Congratulations on the manifestation of your book. All right, I like that Al said, stepped into it, has already happened. Thank you for that. I see all of you all congratulating me. I see all of you all purchasing the copies as they come forward. Not only will it be a book, but it will also contain a workbook, something practical. Well, that's all I have this morning. I don't want to delay. I don't see any hands up for any questions, any comments, any aha moments. I do see there's one question in the Q&A room. Okay. Oh, good. Todd, I see you there. Todd, welcome to Solutions for Living, where we bring solutions to life issues and concerns. And I say good morning to you, and thanks for letting me know that you heard me loud and clear. Well, you guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will get this together and get it to you. I'll send you the link so you can be in class on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., and you'll get the worksheets and the things that is necessary for you to really maximize the time inside of this next 8 weeks. So you guys have a wonderful day. Again, I appreciate you, and be a blessing to someone else. And know that something serendipitous is headed your way. Peace.